the absolute best Necromancer builds this season. Tier 8 hordes, high pit levels, Tormented Lilith, whatever you can imagine, it will fall in front of you. The first one is going to be the Bone Spirit Blaster by Kingpig, with a brand new mechanic to restore resources that you always have these 300 super essence casts. Now first, how does the build work and what did change? You're shooting out bone spirits for billions of damage, and every single bone spirit is an overpowered critical strike as you go for 100% critical strike chance, and we're using the Banished Lord's Talisman to spend 275 resource with every single cast. And in order to get all this resource, you do need the equipment, but you also need the new Path of Tragul boots, because whenever you put down a bone prison, bone splinters shoot out that also higher the amount of maximum essence you have. And this is also where the new tech comes in, because you're going to be using Essence on Kill. Wait, that sounds weird. Why would you ever use Essence on Kill? How's this going to work against bosses? If you cast a bone prison and then you recast the bone prison, you're kind of like killing off the old one. And that killing off of the old one per segment of the bone prison, and with Tragul you get quite a lot, actually gives you essence per kill, and you can get +4 on your rings and +10 on the weapon. Pair this together with the tempering of casting macabre skills restores resource, and your bone spirit itself restoring tons of resource, and you don't even rely on essence per second items anymore. This is a vastly better way to do it, and especially less costly, because who wants to keep essence per kill on... Who wants to keep these rings usually? Your friend probably has 10 of them, or like you probably disenchanted 10 of them, because I know I had a greater affix essence on kill and I might have re-rolled it. And in order to get your essence even better, we're playing the Requiem aspect, which gives you maximum essence per active minion, and every single bone prison fragment is an active minion. So while the bone prison is active, you're actually having more essence than ever. With the imprisoned aspect, it explodes inside the bone prison, and you get huge amounts of essence per kill, max life, and the chance for bone splinters to cast twice. This is a bit weird, but if you're using the Path of Tragul, and every bone splinter fired gives you bonus maximum essence, well, these bone splinters can actually fire twice to give you even more essence, reducing the bone prison cooldown reduction as well. You can finally also wear a two-handed mace, which gives you the bonus overpowered damage. Then on the rings, we would temper rapid ossification, the essence on kill we talked about. Rapid ossification is needed to spend essence and reduce the bone storm cooldown, that you get it as often up as possible, with the aspect of serration for that super crit multiplier. And the casting macabre skills restores primary resource. The Banished Lord's Talisman is the center and heart piece. Without it, the build won't work very well, or at all, to be honest. The Blood Moon Breaches are way too good at this point because there's 150% multiplier. Then the sacrificial aspect, a very important crit chance on the gloves, because we are in need of 100% crit chance. With the sacrificial of boosting the critical strike chances as well of our Skeletal Warrior sacrifice, we get 18% from this already. With a 12% from the skills, that's 30, and then the gloves can already provide another 15%. That's a huge bonus. With the Bone Storm, you're almost there at the 100%. We go for the overpower damage as well as the Golem. If you suck with resource gen yet, you can also sacrifice for the bonus essence and the bonus resource gen, just until you have the right tempers going on and you can get that essence per kill rolling. On the chest, it is the ranks to macabre skills, and funnily enough, the boots are actually also providing bone skills, which kind of works for the bone spirit. With the 7 ranks to macabre skills and also the ranks to core skills, you have like 20 plus end of the day on the bone spirit. Maximum life intelligence as well, then bonus to necrotic carapace to get your fortify always maximum up, since fortify plus life times overpower damage is your actual damage. Get the corpse generals as big as possible with the gloves and the chest, and then lastly the Harlequin crest on the helmet for a huge portion of cooldown reduction. Without the Harlequin crest, it might be tricky to actually play the two-handed weapon, as this is a huge chunk of cooldown reduction. And if you're not rocking an offhand with cooldown reduction as well, you might not be sitting around the 8 seconds you kind of want to have to get a bone spirit out every 1 second. Paragon board can be found in the planner in the description below. We are off to the next bone spirit build. Yes, it's another bone spirit build from a fellow called Scriblet on YouTube. And he's calling it the Spirit Wave build, which is not using overpower at all. Yeah, This is a build that's utilizing the Blood Artisan's Cuirass, which spawns Bone Spirits on Blood Orb consumption. Now these Bone Spirits in their damage only scale with a ranks in Bone Spirit, with still the imprisoned aspect if you then do actually use it, but they're not scaling with essence use since you're not actually casting them. The goal here is spam out your Blood Lances, consume Blood Orbs that are made by Blood Waves, have the Blood Wave at 0 cooldown as you're pooping it out, and then you're going maximum crit instead of maximum overpower, which leads to, well, no 4 billion hits, but you're actually making more Bone Spirits than ever as you're consuming so many Blood Orbs that it creates this super cycle of wave bully people around, Blood Orbs, and you're not forced to all play the overpower items, so you're not locked into the Blood Moon Breaches. You can, for example, play Temerity as your pans for barrier production as you're really consistently overhealing like crazy. The only caveat of this build is it's quite expensive. Like there is some items in there. Now, why is it expensive? Doombringer for the maximum super life, Harlequin Crest, and Ring of Starless Skies. There is a poverty version of this build though that I tried, and it does somewhat work, but you do notice the absence of the Starless Skies and the Doombringer harshly. The key piece is the Blood Artisan's Cuirass, and you want a 3 consumption, so 3 Blood Orbs being consumed, free Bone Spirit. With the Temerity, you're creating an insane barrier that can never be broken, and then with the title aspect on your gloves and the ranks and core skills, because more core skills is more Bone Spirit ranks is more Bone Spirit damage, you're essentially creating these triple waves 9 Blood Orbs. And then with the Fast Blood aspect on your amulet, you're reducing the cooldown of every single your ulti with every single Blood Orb by 3.8 seconds. You make 9 Blood Orbs out of the house with 1 Blood Wave, and then every 6th Blood Lance is actually making a Blood Orb as well. Yes, because Blood Orb, we're not playing the overpower. Yet though, every 6 Blood Lances will make a Blood Orb on top, and we're boosting attack speed, and like attack speed as much as we can. Ranks and Imperfectly Balanced are really good on the amulet, as Ranks and Imperfectly Balanced straight up scales again your core skills, and Bone Spirit is a core skill, and Bone Spirit is your main damage. The only problem is your damage is a bit untargeted. That doesn't really matter in this build, because with the bonus of Corpse Central Size, pull everything around together, and your spirits will already find what they're looking for. Now, the aspect of Serration is always at max, because you're always casting at max. I mean, with your Bloodlands, you're at maximum essence anyways, and then the aspect of Serration essentially just multiplies up your Bone Spirit damage. Lastly, the Gore Quilts, because Gore Quilts will essentially be consuming the Blood Orbs that you make. If you're lacking the Ring of Starless Skies, you can also temper consuming Blood Orbs gives you essence. It's kind of nice. This would obviously reduce the cost of your Blood Lances, so you can just infinitely spam them away. But if you have Gore Quilts and Blood Orbs give you essence, it kind of works nicely hand in hand to actually get your resource back. Don't forget the ultimate cooldown reduction, as we want to be able to literally spam Blood Waves. It is a quite fun and novel concept, so thank you Scriblet for showing that to the community. It is a super intriguing build. The only caveat is a bit loss of agency in terms of where your damage is going at a given moment, but you'll get used to this pretty fast as you're just creating a minefield of Bone Spirits. And now, as we're already in the blood department, I saw this thumbnail from Mr. ChrisW 11 days ago. It was the 130k health Blood Search build. Now, the real only sad part about this build is that it only does damage when it overpowers, which can feel weird because you're having 5 Blood Surges that deal no damage. But since you have 130k plus HP and 130k plus fortifying, you can actually play this build without Bone Storm, like just to crapify and Blood Surge. Like literally a 1-button Necro. Standing AFK in the middle of tier 8 Infernal Hordes, just eating everything left, right, and center. It should be illegal. It should certainly be illegal, but it's just simply that good. And in this case, we're using a cute combo of Cruel's Embrace, which is consuming corpses to do more damage, triggering Flesh Eater, but at the same time, the aspect of the Embalmer, which is making blood herbs as you're consuming corpses, and if you then pick up the blood herbs, you're actually doing more damage to the Blood Begets board. With the Blood Moon Breaches with a 150% multiplier, then we're having the sacrificial aspect running with the tempering of blood attack speed, and also blood attack speed tempering, because you want to attack as fast as possible. Yes, there is still the Doombringer again, because you need to have this. It's 35% maximum life. If you masterwork this correctly, I think it can go up to 70% max life. Technically, there is a poverty version of this, but it will feel like the poverty version. When it comes down to the blood builds, all the poverty versions are kind of like tier 5 easy. And then afterwards, if you try to go higher, you truly like get hit with, yeah, this does feel like the poverty version. That's why I recommend, like, if you have these things, throw it together and go absolutely crazy. I mean, you can super easy peasy farm away tier 5s nicely. With the aspects of Wrath Much Chosen, you have this super duper crazy attack speed going on. The blood base for the double Nova. Don't forget to actually temper the Blood Surge Nova size, that you just have a bit more reach going on. And you can essentially just stand AFK in the middle. Which one is it for you in Season 5? Which build got your main interest? Drop that in the comments below. I think there is more interesting builds, more fun builds, a lot of shadow builds. They're still working with the Shade Mist skeletons. You can also play minions together with Blood Surge. There is a Bone Spear that's doing well. Bone Splinters is quite fantastic too. But when it comes down to the tops of the tops, it does feel fairly limited to Season 4. And it's sad how minions are just feeling that inconsequential after just having had their season of fun. But what are you playing? And if you would like to play Bone Spear, we got a video for you too. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.